Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about the different parts of my heavy duty singer. Sometimes you just go straight and start sewing without actually knowing the parts. I remember when I started sewing, I didn't know the names of every part of a machine. So without wasting time, I'm going to talk about the different parts of my heavy duty singer machine. So let's start with what I call the foot pedal. This is the foot pedal that comes with the machine, and this is what actually controls the movement of the machine. The foot pedal comes with two wires. There are two wires. One is connected to the foot pedal, and the next wire is the one that you will connect to your electricity. The two wires are intertwined, and that is what is fixed right here, as you can see. This is what gives the machine the ability to move when you press the foot pedal. So that is where the electricity comes from. And it is also this electricity that makes it able for you to put on the light of your sewing machine. The next thing I want us to look at is what is called the reverse lever. This is it exactly in front of your sewing machine. Now what this does is that once you sew and you come to the end of your sewing, once you press this down, it pushes your material backwards. So you can just do this and this, this and this. So it takes the material back and forth, back and forth. This is to make sure that the two fabrics you're joining together stays tightly knit together. So you don't need to come and use your hand and then tie your thread once you finish a seam. Now this is what is known as the hand wheel. Now if I'm moving it, take a look at the needle. The needle goes up and comes down. It goes up and comes down. So this is what you use to adjust your needle. Once you put your cloth under the footer, which I'm going to talk about, the pressure footer, you can now adjust your needle any way you like. This is particularly good if you're sewing something very thick. It's good to make sure that your needle is in the fabric before you press the motor, the foot pedal. It's always better because if you press it immediately without your needle being there, it can break your needle fast, especially if you're dealing with thick fabric. So this is very important. For some machines, it comes with another inner stud here, which you need to press out if you're rolling your bobbin. I'll talk about the bobbin after some time. So for some machines that comes with it, but not with this one. This one doesn't come with that. There's another way you can roll your bobbin here when it comes to this heavy duty singer. This here is what is called the spool pin. For this particular one, the spool pin is lying flat. But for some machines, you'll see the spool pin somewhere here where you put your thread. So the main function of the spool pin is to hold your thread in place. So that's the primary function of a spool pin. Now the bobbin for this particular sewing machine is right in here. For some machines, it's quite easy to remove it, but that is not the scope of what I'm going to show you. Just know that the bobbin, what is called the bobbin case, is right in here under the pressure foot. Once you remove this is a covering for it. This is a covering for once you remove it, you see the bobbin there. This is the bobbin. This is what is called the bobbin. But the bobbin case for this machine is right in here. It can be removed, but I will need to remove all this to show you that, which I don't want to do. When I'm doing the machine maintenance video, I can do that. But just know that the bobbin case and the bobbin is right under the covering for this singer, heavy duty singer. But for some other machines, some other single machines, you can easily remove your bobbin and put in your thread. Now, this is what is known as the feed dog. It looks like a teeth-like, I don't know what to describe, but it looks teeth-like, as you can see. It looks teeth-like. So that is what that is what the feed. That is what is called the feed dog. It protrudes through these parallel 4 spaces. There's a parallel 4 spaces on the throat plate. This metal place here that houses the bobbin is called the throat plate. So there's a parallel 4 spaces here, you can see, that this protrudes from it. This is actually very, very important. It plays the role of adjusting fabric, especially when it comes to stitch length. It holds the fabric firm, so that the sewing can be smooth. But particularly, the feed dog moves the fabric as the needle moves. So the feed dog is actually responsible for the fabric, the stitch length. Let's put it like that. The stitch length of once you set the stitch length, it is this teeth-like feed dog that moves your fabric according to the stitch length that you have set for a particular sewing. Now, this here is what is known as the presser foot. This is the presser foot. Machines come with different kinds of presser foot. For this one, this presser foot is just for sewing. But there's what we call a presser foot if you want to do some buttonhole stitches, if you want to do sew a zip, especially if you want to sew invisible zip onto a dress, there's a presser foot for it. So there are different kinds of presser. There are presser foot to do designs. There are round forms of presser foot. If you look at my blog post, you'll see that I gave a picture of different kinds of presser foot, so you have an idea of what it is. So the kind of presser foot you use depends on what you're sewing. Depends on whether you're doing a straight sewing, whether you're sewing a zip, whether you are doing a design. That would determine the kind of presser foot for you to put right here. And of course, you can also see the needle for the sewing, which is blocked here, and this is the needle holder, which if you turn this around, it will release the needle out here. If you're changing your needle, you normally have to turn this anti-clockwise. It will release the needle for you, and then you can change it. So good. You can always regulate the pressure of the presser foot by turning, where is it? Yeah, this is where the tension is in terms of this particular machine. This is where there's a tension dial here. So it depends on how much pressure you want, the tension you want. You can adjust it right here and here. So it's very important. Before I forget, it's very important once you get your machine, everything I'm talking about is explained in the machine. So you don't have to, stress yourself or jump into sewing without getting to know every single part and what it does for you. It will make your sewing experience much more easier. Now, this is what is called the bobbin winder. If you want to put threads on your bobbin, which I've shown to you what a bobbin is, as you can see it there, it's even illustrated here in a diagram. This is a bobbin. This is where you put the bobbin. And this here is what is known as a bobbin winder stopper. Once you put your bobbin there, you shift it like so, and then the thread starts winding once you press the the motor with your foot. The thread starts winding round here, and once it is enough, this bobbin winder stopper stops it, just to let you know that the amount of thread on the bobbin is enough, and then you can remove it. This is the spool pin that holds the thread. Remember, I didn't show it to you. I decided to turn the machine so that you can see it very well. This is where the thread is being held, that comes from the top of the machine and all that. This here is the pattern selector dial. As you can see, there are different kinds of stitches. You have your buttonhole stitch, you have your straight stitch, you have your zigzag stitch, which you can use if you do not have an interlocking machine. That is why I like this machine. If you don't have an interlocking machine, you could always use this zigzag machine at the edges of your seam to make it look neater, you know, until you can afford an interlocking machine, because this is what I normally use at the edge of my seams, this particular stitch, to make it much neater before I bought an interlocking machine. This here is the stitch length dial. As you can see, you can select your stitches from 0 to 4, or you leave it less than 0, especially when you're doing a buttonhole right here. If you're doing a buttonhole, this is where you place it. You place it there. Then your stitches, if you're doing you need very tight stitches, you place it at between 1 and 2. If you need loose stitches that you want to do gathers, you place it at 4. So most machines, the maximum millimeters for stitches is normally 4. So 0 to 4, that is what you get with most sewing machines, 0 to 4. So this here can help you to select your stitches, which is very important, depending on what you're sewing and what you want to do with the stitches. For normal sewing, I normally use 2 to 2.5 or so, just to do normal sewing. But if you want to do gathers on a dress, you leave it at 4 millimeters. So that is it. So this is where you control the tension of the thread. This is very important, because the higher the tension, the tighter the thread that is fed. I repeat, the higher the tension, the tighter the thread that is fed to your needles from the top of the thread. So this tension setting is very, very important. So it depends on really how loose you want your stitches to be and how tight you want them to be. They're not supposed to, when you're doing normal sewing, it shouldn't be too tight, it shouldn't be too loose. And this depends on your machine. So when you look at your machine, your manual that comes, they tell you the right tension to use for what kind of fabric. So it's very important, as I said once again, I cannot emphasize it enough. Look at your machine manual. I know a lot of us don't do it. Even me, I didn't do it. But when I started having challenges, I had to go and look at it. So look at the manual of your machine. What does it say? What tension is best for what fabric? And for here, this is where you can change the needle position. Needle positions are normally changed sometimes. It depends if you want to do a zigzag or you're using a pressure foot maybe for a zip. You can change the needle position and things like that. So this is where you do it. If you bought this Singer heavy duty. So that's it. That's all I think you need to know as a beginner. Those are the basic parts of a sewing machine that you need to know as a beginner. There are a few things I didn't really cover, like how to bring out your bobbin and all that. I don't want to cover that here because this is just for a beginner. I don't want to bring in too many things. Once you know those basic parts, now you're ready to start your first project. You know where your needle is. You know what all these parts are called. You know where to put your thread. You know where to do your tension dial. You know where to choose whatever design that you want. You know where to plug your wire. You know where to place your foot. You know what to do to hold your material in place. So once you are aware of all that, as a beginner, you can start your sewing. So thank you so much for watching. It's It's a long video. I wanted to make it 10 minutes, but it's 15 minutes. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will be able to start your sewing project after you've learned the different parts of this sewing machine.